The Sony PlayStation 3 was first released in North America in 2007. I got mine for Christmas in 2011, and, it was a console I played while I was in high school. So, today, I'm going to make a video about about my video game collection for that console. Alright, so let's get things started with the PlayStation 3 video game collection. Okay, so first we have WWE Legends of WrestleMania. It was released in 2009. Now, this is a lot different from the WWE games at the time, like the 2000s. It was sort of similar to the arcade games, but it was just like a lot of quick time events, and a lot of people didn't like it. It's okay, but I find the best thing about this game is actually the fact that you could play as wrestlers that were never in any WWE games before. And of course, we got WWE 13, which has CM Punk on the cover, and, he was WWE champion at the time this game was released, and I spent a lot of time playing this game back in high school. Have WWE 12, with Randy Orton on the cover. At the time, he was mostly wrestling on SmackDown when this game was released, even though the brand split was actually over at the time. But he held the World Heavyweight Championship several times within, say, like 2010 to 2011. He had a feud with Christian, which was pretty cool. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. I originally played this game on Nintendo Wii back in 2010, and I really liked it. At the time when I got it for Wii, Mario Kart was way too expensive. And I remember seeing this game on sale for like $25 at EB Games, which is a Canadian version of GameStop. And it was just, I had a really good time playing it. So a couple years ago, I ordered it on Amazon for PlayStation 3. And I forgot I ordered it. And I actually got hurt before I went to work one day. I broke my ankle and tore several ligaments, and I remember the game showed up in the mail, and I was just like, when did I order this? So I played it for a little bit when I was off work hurt a few years ago, and I didn't remember the game being so challenging, but you gotta remember, back then, like even in 2000s, they made games a lot more challenging than what they are today, at least for the most part. NHL 13. Funny enough, I never actually bought this game when it first came out. I got it last year at a retro video game store. This isn't necessarily a retro title, but it's, the game's almost 10 years old. So, yeah, like when this game was actually current, a lot of people I went to school with in high school didn't really like this version of the game, so a lot of people were playing NHL 12, and then by the time I started my first year of university, NHL 14... No, that's not right. Actually, NHL 14 I would have got when I was in high school, too. But yeah, I remember playing that game a lot, but NHL 15 came out when I first started university. Yeah, I never actually played this game, I'll be honest. But, it has Claude Giroux on the cover. I'm not a Philadelphia Flyers fan by any means, but it's interesting that they chose him to be on the cover, because Philadelphia, they weren't actually doing well during 2012 and 2013, so it's just then again, it was also fan choice too, because I remember when NHL 14 was coming out, I was in communications class at school, and myself and a few friends were actually doing the voting online, who should be on the cover of NHL 14, so I'm thinking they probably did the same thing here. Infamous Collection. Okay, so when I bought this, for some reason, it was at a retro video game store, it didn't come with the second game. It only came with the first game, despite the fact that it says Infamous Collection. Regardless, I did play Infamous 2, I don't own it now, when I first got my PlayStation 3, and that game is just fantastic. It's much better than the first one, I have to say. I really like Infamous 2 a lot. It tells a compelling story. You have the choice whether, okay, so am I going to be evil or am I going to be good? Actually, it's only halfway through the game I decided I was going to be good, and then in that case, Cole McGrath die as a hero, and you see the catharsis. So, yeah, I don't think they'll ever make another Infamous game with Cole McGrath, because, like, I mean, he kind of did get sent off there. But, I mean, it would be nice if they did. Resistance: Fall of Man. Okay, so, as a horror writer, I have played a few games that are kind of like along that genre. So, you can kind of see some references to T.S. Eliot and H.P. Lovecraft in this. But besides that, it's a sci-fi first-person shooter, and it's interesting. Killzone 2. This was a game I always wanted to get, especially when I first got my PlayStation 3, but never actually picked it up until last year. But I'll be honest, I never played it, ironically enough, but it is always going to be part of my collection. 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts. Despite what a lot of people said about this game, I really like it. Especially the campaign, because there's a lot of narrative motifs there, such as the open ending at the end. Like, you see the main character get dragged off. Like, does he get killed? Does he survive? We don't know. And you know what? I don't think there will ever be an answer to that question. Because Ghosts is one of those Call of Duty games, I am sure that it's a standalone title, and there's no way they're going to make a sequel. And I'm fine with that. I really like this game, especially the story mode. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I got this game when I first got my PlayStation 3 for Christmas. So I think it was like 5 games I got in my console when I got it. Anyway, the online multiplayer is not that bad. Like, I mean, it's not bad. But, I mean, the story was... I like the story a lot in this game. And, like, the ending of it. The player is clearly... doesn't have the upper hand. And then as soon as they get it... I can't remember the main antagonist name, but you literally hang him through the roof of this building because the glass breaks on top, and he's just hanging by his neck. And, like, that was just... Okay, where did this come from? I thought the game was decent. Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, this is probably my favorite Call of Duty game, because I guess it was a point in my life. I was 14 when the game came out. I've owned it for Wii. I own it for PS3. I also have a copy of it for Xbox 360, which also comes with Black Ops 2, but it's playable on Xbox One. I also have that. So, like, as you can tell, I really like this game. Like, if they remade it again, I'd probably buy it. That doesn't mean I'd actually play it in that case, but I mean, I really like it so much. The campaign, I'm after playing this a couple times. Like, I played it on the Xbox, I played it on PlayStation, I played it on Wii. It's just, the story's compelling. A lot of, like, it's one of those stories where you're left asking more questions and getting answers, especially for the first half of it. And that's good, because it keeps players engaged. And then when you realize what's actually going on, you feel like you should have known it the whole time. But it's and the online multiplayer, we had a lot of fun playing that. Like, I remember a friend of mine was playing it on PlayStation with me, and, like, we were making, like, custom classes and stuff, because, like, that's what you do. Why would you pick the standard classes already there for online, like, for guns and stuff? I mean, like, I remember I made this pistol with a scope on it, and he picked it up, and he was like, what the hell is this? It just, like, it looked like a pirate telescope. And I remember I just did that. I did that just to see how you react. Battlefield 3. Now, this is one of those games I didn't play much of the online multiplayer. I actually got this game in 2014 for $10 at Toys R Us. And I was like, so why would I not buy that? Because I've never played it before. And, like, at the time. Anyway, I ended up playing the story mode for this game, and it's pretty good. It's actually the only Battlefield game I've ever played, and I'm glad it was this one, because a lot of people say good things about this one. And, you know, like, when I was in my second semester at university, I remember playing this and just, like, coming home, but, like, you know, I got no work to do, I'm gonna play Battlefield, and, like, it's a good time. 2012's Lego DC Supervillains. So, sorry, I screwed it up. Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes. I'm thinking of DC Supervillains because I really like that game on Xbox. Anyway, this might be the most important game in my PS3 collection. And, like, people are probably going to ask, like, why would that be? It's like, it's a Lego game. Like, there's other games out there. So, like, in late 2013, early 2014, I didn't play video games for a long time. Like 6 months, 8 months, I went without playing video games. Because I said, like, I don't want to do this anymore. So, like, this is beneath me. I was like, it's funny to say that. Like, you're 17. Like, how is that beneath you? How is that beneath... Like, nothing is beneath anybody. You shouldn't look at things that way. Anyway, I said, I miss playing video games. I gotta buy something and start playing them again. So I saw this. I think it was Walmart I got it. And this made me appreciate the art of video games again. And I've been playing them consistently ever since. Like, it just happened to be this game. And, like, this does tell a good story. It's a lot of fun. It's the first Lego game that ever featured voice acting as well. Like, full voice acting. And, I mean, I think I got every gold brick in this game as well because I played it a lot. So, I would recommend this to anybody. You can even play it backwards compatible on Xbox One right now, so. X-Men Origins Wolverine. This game's pretty good. I mean, it's difficult, and that's why there's cheats that give you invincibility. And it's funny when you use those cheats because, like, Logan, he takes so much damage, and then he'll just be like, almost like a robotic skeleton. That's what you see on screen because he's taking so much damage, but you don't die because you got the cheats on. And, like, this is one of those games that was better than the movie because the movie was only okay, but a lot of people like this game. And I remember I ordered it on Amazon back in 2015. And it was like one of the first things I ever ordered on Amazon. And funny enough, Amazon is something I use so much now. But yeah, I think I bought it off somebody secondhand, I would say, because it took a while to get here. But yeah, it's a great game. Skate 2. When Blockbuster and Rogers Video closed down in Canada, a lot of people were going to these places because they were, whatever they had in stock, like movies and video games, TV series, they were selling it. Now, not necessarily at a really cheap price, because some of it wasn't, but I mean, I remember my cousin and her boyfriend went in and they bought almost every game that was there. I remember being really mad about it. But when I got there, this was one of the only things that was left. Skate 2 for PS3. I said, yeah, I'm buying that. And it's fantastic. Well, since I like Skate 2 so much, I ended up buying Skate 3. This actually has Jason Lee voicing a character who was clearly his likeness at the beginning of the game. Like, when you play the tutorial, you're in, like, a skating academy, and Jason Lee is there, and he's just kind of, like, screaming at you. It's funny. There's a lot that could be said about this game, NHL 12. It's actually my favorite NHL game. I played it a lot when I was in high school, and one of my friends was actually a member of my blogging team. We used to play it almost every day after school, and it was quite competitive. I mean, most of the time I would lose, but we would get so mad. Like, he pissed me off that much one time. I smashed the PlayStation controller. Just smashed it across the floor over and over again. So yeah, there's a lot of good memories with this game. MLB 07, the show. I'm going to be completely honest. I barely know anything about baseball. I've never played this. I bought it just to be a part of my collection, and it was like last year I bought it. I don't think I'll ever play it, but the fact that it's there is pretty cool. So, NBA 2K12. I really do like basketball, but I didn't buy this when it first came out. I bought it about 4 or 5 years ago. I did play it a few times, but I mean, when I did buy it, I recently purchased my Xbox One, so I mean, I was just playing NBA games on that. But yeah, this game actually came out when I was in high school as well, and like, a lot of people were playing it, said good things about it. Gran Turismo 5 XL Edition. Never actually played it, but I'm a big fan of Forza, so I figured this would be necessary to be in my PlayStation collection. I really like sports, especially hockey and basketball. So, I'll be honest, the next few games are going to be sports games. NHL 14, I think having Martin Brodeur on the cover of this was the right call because, you know, this was his last year in the NHL. He played with the New Jersey Devils his entire career, and this is also the last game to be primarily featured on the PS3 and Xbox 360 for NHL. So, I mean, I think it was the right choice. NHL 11, played this for a while before I got NHL 12, and it's decent. His last game to feature the Atlanta Thrashers, and before they went to Winnipeg, became Winnipeg Jets. It also has Jonathan Toews on the cover, but it, even though like you can see the Chicago Blackhawks logo, you can see that it's Toews, it looks like Sidney Crosby, and I have always said that, and I will always say that. Shaun White snowboarding. As much as I appreciate the licensed games, I'm not going to pretend this is good. Like, it's pretty limited. Decent soundtrack, though. NHL 10. Let me be honest with you, I didn't really like it. It just seems like it was too clunky, slow-paced, and much more challenging than it needed to be. I've never played this, NHL 08, but I have it in my collection because I paid like $2 for it on eBay last summer. Eric Staal is my favorite NHL player of all time, so I think it was necessary to have this. NHL 2K9 with Rick Nash, never played it, but like, you know, part of my collection. WWE 2K14, I played it a couple times. I only bought it last summer, and it was just something that needed to be in the collection because I missed out on it. When like I said, there was a period where I stopped playing video games, so I didn't even buy this when it came out. Yeah, it has Daniel Bryan on the cover, who's now wrestling in AEW under his real name, Bryan Danielson. As wrestling fans will know, he wrestled in Ring of Honor prior to being in WWE, and he always used his real name. Except WWE just changed his name, right? So, NHL 2K7 with Joe Thornton. I didn't pay very much for this. It was something I got on eBay. It was probably like $3. Grand Theft Auto 4. I played this game a lot. It was the only Grand Theft Auto around for 5 years. Like, I mean, when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I was in my last year of high school. So, like, if anybody was like, you want to play GTA, it would have been this before that. I got this when I was in grade 10. It's decent, but I mean, you can't even compare it to GTA 5. I know GTA 5 has been done to death, like it's been made, quite a few times, but I mean, this game in itself is not that bad. But there's no way of comparing it to GTA 5, not at all. And of course, the expansion, Grand Theft Auto 4, Episodes from Liberty City. I wish that they made something like this for GTA 5, where you had like a standalone expansion, because like this is 2 games, and honestly, they were better than the actual GTA 4. Especially the Battle of Gay Tony, that was pretty good. Lost and Damn, I wasn't that much of a fan of it. But, I mean, together they were definitely pretty good. Vin Diesel's Wheelman. I'm a really big fan of Vin Diesel, and I will defend the fact that he has 2 Spotify singles out that actually are decent. This game was made by Ubisoft, which created the Driver series, and I like it. A lot of people made fun of it, but I mean, it's pretty cool for what it is. Like, the driving mechanics were a bit out there, but I like this game. The last game is Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition. So this includes the base game, as well as Undead Nightmare. There's actually a story about when I got this game. I was at Walmart with my mom while I was in grade 10. And she said, well, if you want to get something for Valentine's Day, get something red. So that's what I did.